Okay, this is standard 2, and it's physical changes versus chemical reactions, and it's also talking about physical properties versus chemical properties. And first thing you need to understand that the periodic table, on the periodic table, the elements are either metals, non-metals, gases, and that's like the last row on the right, and they call them the noble gases. And then in between these two, they call them the metalloids. And metalloids are like semiconductors that they use in electronic circuits. So they have properties of both being able to conduct electricity and also be an insulator. So they can be turned on and off, things like that. And so all of these things have properties, and we know a lot about properties. We study that a lot this year. A substance's superpowers, elements also have superpowers. And so that's one thing we need to understand about the periodic table and metals. Okay, we use certain elements to make certain things. So it's almost like we have a recipe going on here, and we're going, okay, we need this property in our recipe, so we're going to add this to it, and we need this property too. And so we often mix things on the periodic table to create the things that we need in our society. So these are like natural resources, right? But they're on the elemental level, and we pick and choose to use them in order to create something with the properties that we need to organize our world, to balance it, to make it easier to build things and create other things for like ships on the water, and furniture, and like blinds, or even this whiteboard here, or even light bulbs, right? We use different elements for each of those things. And we went over that when we looked at the mind map. We did the mind maps. We had the product in the center, and then we came up with all the things that that product had made up of, until we got to the natural resource, which is usually an elemental level. Okay, so like I already mentioned, a ship, we need to make things that float on water, and some things that are water resistant. And like ships especially, we need both of those. We don't want to put like just pure copper on the bottom of a boat, because we know that copper and water rust over time, or iron and water together water will rust iron. So that means that it's reactive. Iron is reactive with water. Some elements react with water and air, others don't. So we can mix elements to form molecules or compounds that together have properties that fit the purposes we want to use them for.